Hello and welcome to the Contact Center Agent Client Training. This training will be geared towards agents and teaching you how to get logged into the client, also known as CCAC. You'll learn how to interact with voice calls as well as web chat and some other great tools within the client. Looking at my screen, you'll notice that this is a login screen. One thing to keep an eye out for is the URL itself. Now, please note that the URL you will use to navigate to this client will be unique to your company. This is not the URL that you will use for yourself. But keep an eye for the CC agent portion of that URL, as that is the client for Contact Center Agent Client. There's another tool that we offer that's more for managers and supervisors to run reports and open wallboards that looks very similar, but it does not have CC agent in the name. Instead, it has web. But as an agent, this is the one that you need to worry about, CC agent. To get logged in, you'll click on the agent and then find yourself here. And you can also just start typing to find yourself even more quickly. In this case, I'm going to impersonate Courtney Adams. So I select Courtney, extension 1155. Now note, the password for Courtney by default is her extension, and I'm going to use that now. This is always the default password for you, regardless of what you use to sign into your phone itself. And I'm going to go ahead and get logged in. All right, you're already seeing a ton of information on the screen. In the background here, this is a wallboard that has been specified for Courtney and her fellow team members to see. This is so that you can make educated decisions on if you want to go off a D&D to help take phone calls and how your team's doing overall. This is one of many available templates visible for agents to see. Let's focus more on the left-hand side, however. On the left-hand side is the CCAC console. This is where the agent will interact with the channels, voice and chat, D&D, and some other great features. So first of all, let's make sure that you're ready to take a phone call. You'll notice that on D&D is currently selected. So if I select that again, I am currently in the ready position, but I'm not quite ready to take phone calls or web chat. On the left, you'll notice there's a phone icon and a chat icon. These are channels. Unless they're a color, whether that be red or blue, depending on your branding, you are not in that channel. So now I am in both channels. It's a great tool in case you need to only work with web chat for a little while. You can take yourself out of the voice channel so you are not taking skill group calls, or vice versa. In this case, I'll be ready for both. Another great tool is the skill group management tool. We call it Manage Skills. It's this little toggle here. If I click on that, it'll open up all the available skills that are assigned to me. I'm going to put myself in all three skills. Please note that this may be something that you do not see. It depends on your management. They can actually hide that feature from you so that you're only in the skills that they want you to be in and take that control away from you. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so at this stage, I am ready to take a phone call. You may wonder how to navigate to get from wallboards to call history, so forth. That can be accomplished in the top left-hand corner with the three dots right here next to your name. Click on that, you'll have the option to view the wallboard as we currently are, view history, and that'll actually load up all the previous history of chat and phone calls, but you can absolutely filter in the top right-hand corner by selecting one or both of those options. Other options include displaying a different language. If you prefer a language other than English, you can select Spanish there, for example. Also, notifications. This will prompt you with what kind of notifications you want to receive based on your different activity. And we'll actually show you some of these here shortly. We can also change the password. Now, you may recall signing into the CCAC, you had to enter your extension as the default password. If you want to change that, this is where you'll do it. You have to enter in the current password and then the new password, and that will be locked in. If you ever have a problem with your password and the default is no longer working either, feel free to work with a manager or supervisor who can default it back to your extension, and then you can change it as appropriate after the fact. Next, let's focus on what you need to do in order to take a break and prevent new voice calls or chats from coming in through the skills. In order to do that, all you need to do is untoggle this ready option, and you'll notice it puts it on D&D. It may ask you what type of D&D you're currently going on. So in this case, I'm taking a lunch break. I will select lunch and apply. At this time, you will not receive any voice calls from the skill group, though you can receive personal calls or direct calls. You can also make outbound calls, but this is blocking inbound calls through the skill group. And it's also, of course, blocking those web chats. When you return from break, all you need to do, put that switch back into place. You'll notice both channels light up again on the left-hand side, and you are now ready to receive calls again. When you are ready to log out for the day, I recommend clicking on the ellipsis tool there, those three dots, and just simply go to log out. That will take you out of the skills, of course. You won't be able to take voice calls from the skill groups or web chats because you have logged out completely, and we have returned to this screen. Now let's get logged back into the Contact Center Agent client so that you can see how to interact with skill group voice calls as well as web chat. What it will look like when I take a call is this. I get a message in the middle of the screen notifying me of that call, who is calling, and what skill group it is coming into, or even the hunt group if applicable. This may not be where you answer the call. This may just be a window that's notifying you with call information. If you're using your desk phone, continue to do so. In this case, I've taken the call, and that call is visible on the left-hand side, and you'll see information about that call in the center of your screen. While you're on the call, you'll have some great features available to you on the far right side of the CCAC client. That includes who's calling, a calling party number, if available, of course, via caller ID, and some other details including what skill it is, the direction, any tags that came through with that call and the routing, etc. You also have the option to add notes to this call to be displayed in Cradle to Grave and in some reports. Just click on Notes in the top right-hand corner. Then the field is at the very bottom of the screen where you can type in notes about what is happening on that call. It's very much free-form notes, so you can be as elaborate as your company needs you to be, and then post it. Also, you'll have codes. We often call them account codes. This is your ability to tag that call with set predefined account codes made available to you. So in this case, I may tag it as a new opportunity and post it. Now note you can actually add more than one account code if you would like. So not only is it a new opportunity, I'm going to say that I eventually transferred it to a supervisor and post it. You'll notice those are populating in the top right-hand corner where you can remove them if they were no longer applicable as you go through your call. Okay, those will be available in Cradle to Grave as well as reports. And I really encourage you to use these if these have been made available to you because they really expand the opportunities that reports have to report more in depthly on what is happening on those calls. So it's a really great tool. Okay, so the call is over. Maybe you hung up on the phone itself or through WebRTC, but when the call is over, it may still display here, and that's by design, so that you can still add those notes or codes as applicable. When the call has completed, one thing you will see is what we call an after call work timer. This will happen for inbound calls that are coming through skill groups, and I'll show you what that looks like now. On the left-hand side of your screen, you'll notice that we have a countdown by default of 30 seconds. While this timer is counting down, you will not be able to receive another skill group call during that time. Please note you can take a personal call or even a direct call, but nothing from a skill group will hit you at this time. If you complete this early, you can always click it, I am done. Or if you need more time, you can do so by clicking I need more time, and you'll notice it gave me a little bit more time until that completes. In this case, I'm going to say I am done. You'll also see the same thing if you miss the call. Now, most likely you're not at your desk to even see this, but if you miss a call, it will display as a missed call work timer, and it looks very similar. Now notice you don't have the I need more time option, but you will have the option to say I am done because this will not present a call to you until it has been cleared. Okay, I'm ready to receive calls and chats again since I have cleared both of those. Up next, let's show you how to interact with web chat from the Contact Center Agent client. In the center of your screen, you'll see a pop whenever a chat comes to you. Of course, you need to make sure that you're available with the toggles on the left. You are ready and in the channel. Let me send a new chat there now, and it pops up in the middle of the screen, much like the call pop did earlier. It tells you who is sending the chat request, their email address, and what skill group it applies to. If you're in more than one skill group, that's very important so that you can interact with the customer appropriately. But you'll continually be able to see that on the right-hand side, as I'll show you now. We are in this chat with Angela. On the right-hand side, you'll see information about the chat, including, again, the name, email address, and the target skill continuously. All right, in this case, each of the chat bubbles, if you will appear in the center of the screen, but how you chat with the customer is in the bottom center of the client. I'm just going to paste in a message there, and you'll see the customer responding on the left-hand side. Now, please note that we have what we call canned messages or templates available to you to auto-populate chats, including this greeting like you see here. To find those chats or the canned messages, down at the bottom is the templates field. You click on that and it'll actually list multiple canned messages that have been programmed for you to select to populate some chats with some information that you may put in quite frequently, like hours of operation or information about where to find things on your website, so forth. So to answer the question, you can just type out in the field below, I need help with reports. Can you help with that? Of course. What can I help with? And they'll continue to respond on the left-hand side. Now, I'll leave that dormant for a little bit, but let me draw your attention to the right-hand side where we have similar options that you had in the call as well. The ability to add notes to this chat. Again, this is just free-form text where you can type in whatever you need to report on what happened on that chat beyond what the text itself displays. Another option is the codes. Again, the account codes that you saw earlier. Works just like you do with voice calls. You can tag it with different values that are predefined available for you. In this case, we scheduled a meeting and customer agreed to the terms. Just add as many account codes as you need to. Once again, this adds additional value to the reporting tools for your managers and supervisors. As a chat ends, you can end the chat yourself in the top, or another option is you can actually transfer a chat. So if you do need to transfer this to the supervisor, click on Transfer Chat, and you'll have the option of other agents to send that chat to, or to a skill group itself. So maybe not a particular agent, but you want to transfer it to the help desk, you can do so by clicking that here. Although you have concluded your web chat, don't forget that you do have the ability to see the history of your recent media. To find that, it's in the menu in the top left-hand corner, View History, and it will display all your recent calls and chats where you can reopen it to see that transaction. And of course, add your notes again. And finally, don't forget to log out when you're done for your day. And that concludes the Contact Center Agent Client training. Thanks for joining me today and have a great day.